Cooperative Extension Service, and whenever I come to talk about the Cooperative Extension Service, I first have to talk about all the other programs that we have. Because any of you that know Cooperative Extension know that there's lots to do with Cooperative Extension. So Cooperative Extension's goal, our purpose, is to take university research, not just from this university, but from universities all over the country, and translate that research into ways that the public can use it. So we have several different areas within Cooperative Extension. We have land resources, which deals with everything from forestry to, they run the Master Gardeners program, many different gardening programs going on right now. It's really crazy over there. And then we have the home economics side of Cooperative Extension, which includes energy assistance, or not energy assistance, but energy programs, different home buying programs, radon testing kits we offer there at Cooperative Extension. Another part of the home economics program is what I'm affiliated with, and that is the food and nutrition education programs. And Cooperative Extension Services have basically two different food and nutrition education programs. One is for young families with children, and the other program is for anybody who qualifies for food stamps. There's no age requirement on there at all. The only requirement is that they be eligible for food stamps. They don't even have to be receiving food stamps as long as they're eligible for food stamps. And that program is the one that we're definitely trying to get some more seniors involved in. We don't have any seniors. I don't have any seniors right now involved in that program. And both the nutrition education programs with Cooperative Extension Service work in several ways. The most popular way is that we go into people's homes and teach nutrition, cooking, budgeting, and planning. We were talking earlier, this is an especially important thing for young families with kids, especially if they're getting some sort of assistance like food vouchers through WIC or cash assistance through the state. We go in and help them use that money better so they can make sure they can feed their family throughout the month. Also, we work with the food bank quite a bit and make sure that when people get a food box, like a commodity supplemental food box, that they can use everything in that box. Sometimes people are not sure how to use everything that's in there. So we go into people's homes and help make sure they know how to use it, make sure that they're able to make their food money stretch throughout the month. The Commodity Supplemental Food Program is a great program for anybody that qualifies. Even if you feel like, well, I have enough money to get me through, those food boxes are worth, I know they do them by pounds, but usually the food boxes are worth at least $50, sometimes even more than that.
They figure them about $80 to $90.
$80 to $90 a food box. So I always tell my clients, it doesn't really matter what your money situation is. If you had $80 or $90 more a month that you could save on food, that's 80 or 90 bucks you could spend on medications, heating your house, other things that we have to do. So at the Cooperative Extension, through our nutrition education programs, we really want to help people use those things. And I find every day that I go into somebody's house, I learn something new. So that's what I'm really looking forward to when I get a few more seniors on my roster. So along with those programs, at the Cooperative Extension Service, we also do several programs that are open to everybody in the public. Roxy, my boss, does the Master Food Preservers class, which is going on now. It started in January, and it's the first Wednesday of every month. And we meet at the food bank and learn everything you ever wanted to know about preserving any kind of food. So those programs are going on all the time. And in addition, at the Cooperative Extension Service, we have at the Tanana District office, which is the old University Park Elementary School, right down by the railroad tracks on University Avenue, we have a whole wall of free publications regarding everything from gardening to making your home energy efficient to making clothes. It's just phenomenal. I walk by it 20 times a day and I always see something new. So if you get a chance, stop down in the old University Park Elementary School and take a look at our flyers. That's the same building that the Lifelong Learning is in, so many of you have probably been down there. Stop in and get some of those flyers. In addition, if you are eligible for food stamps, or if you know anybody that's eligible for food stamps, or if you know young families that are on any type of assistance, they qualify for our nutrition education programs. And if you could put them in contact with us, that would be great. There's a couple things I brought tonight. I brought, and they're on the table. Sharon has them over there. One is just this yellow pamphlet that explains the nutrition education programs at the Cooperative Extension Service. This may be something that you're interested in, or you may know somebody that might be interested in this, and I encourage you to pass it along, and it's got our contact information on it too. And the other thing is there's, you know, I was trying to find today some, they just updated the dietary guidelines for Americans. They just updated them in January. They update them every 5 years. And they haven't, and many of you may have seen the new food pyramid, which has been real big in the news. So, and that's wonderful, but they haven't come out with very many print materials for the public yet. And part of it is that our government spent all the money doing the research and they didn't have any money to print it, so they're waiting for other agencies besides the USDA to come up with some money.
They sent it all to Iraq.
Yeah, so so they're waiting for some other agencies to put some money into print materials. So more of that information will be coming out, and then it'll be targeted at specific groups. So one thing I did bring though is a general eating well and staying well in your senior years. And you know, regardless of whether it's new guidelines or old guidelines, there are a lot of basics that remain the same. So I brought those, and these are on the blue sheet. And also on the top there, I made a photocopy of our contact information at the Cooperative Extension Service in case you want to get in touch with anybody. One of the things that the new guidelines really emphasize, and I like to emphasize too, is that we're really trying to focus on balance. Balance, balance, balance. And I don't mean, you know, standing on one foot so you don't fall over. Although that's important. But they're trying to focus on balancing what we take in with what we do. And I think this is something that becomes harder the older we get, especially if you live in Fairbanks, I think. I think it becomes more and more difficult to make sure you're being active every single day and balancing that with your food intake. So that is one of the things that's really changed with the new dietary guidelines. And I hope that when we get some more information that's more specific to different populations, that you'll invite us back and we can talk more specifically about guidelines.
The Extension Service historically was concerned with agriculture and horticulture, and there are seniors who garden, for example. Plus, there is the farmers market, which is locally grown, fresh vegetables and other materials.